Aloha everyone and welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Marixa Indigo and I am a professional oracle. I'm the founder of Divine DNA Blueprint Mystery School, clinical Ayurvedic specialist, and intuitive evolutionary astrologer. I am a code keeper, meaning that I receive information from our beautiful planet Gaia, our amazing sun Solaris, various planets, asteroids, star family, the elementals, essentially everything that is here for us. I listen deeply to what they are speaking for us all and transcribe the codes to support you at this time in a conscious navigation of the awakening journey. So thank you so much for joining me. If you're new, I just wanted to share a little bit about what I do, what my purpose of service is here to support you all at these momentous times of deep shift. And for those of you that have been with me, thank you so much. I love you. I'm really excited to share this with you. So today we're going to be talking about the Aqua ray transmissions. This is quite an amazing frequency that I was gifted to work with. So first, a little background on this before we dive into the codes, just to give you some perspective. I was planning, I thought, to go to Sedona for mid-July for the Freedom Codes for Bastille Day, which is July 14th. And after 3 phone calls, 10 hours, all of these very interesting errors, if you will, I was rerouted. United Airlines kept messing up my flight and canceling it 3 times. And I always listen to that 3 times and look at, okay, am I pushing too hard? You know, this isn't aligning. This isn't lining up. And so I had a flight credit that I was trying to apply to my flight to go to Sedona. And it just was not aligned. So I put that down. I said, okay, universe, where are we going? Because I know we're supposed to go out on the land and do something for the Freedom Codes for the 14th, for mid-July. And I said, okay, are we going to Shasta? Are we going to Mount Rainier? I knew we had to be at some kind of a mountain setting. And Gaia said, Shasta, baby. I was like, okay. So I had to just kind of, reroute. It's part of that adaptability, that flexibility, that deep listening on the path right now that will support everybody, is not getting too fixed in our quote unquote plans, right? Our expectations. Life happens while we make plans, right? It's really important to remember at this time to be fluid and to listen deeply so that we are following the path that as we are guided to do so. So this is where the Aqua ray comes in, a total surprise, and I'm so excited for you to see the beautiful images here. We've got some stunning photos of the light beings, the Aqua ray and Dara beings we were working with on the mountain, beautiful footage of the mountain and the forest, and these sphere beings that actually came through when we were blowing bubbles. It looks like these intergalactic or multidimensional beings presented themselves, light beings, in the bubbles. So these are all unfiltered, unaltered photos. Part of our mission is to share visual activations with you through photos and videos to show you, hey, New Earth is happening. This is real. The crystalline, all of these different realms, these fanciful concepts that we talk about, they're not just pie in the sky. They're happening in the physical. And we are so blessed to capture them to then share and show you actual proof of the frequencies that are available to all of us. Should we open our hearts and say, show me. Yes, I want to see, I want to play with this, I want to know. That's how easy it is to enter New Earth. It's a very humble, gracious, heart open, curiosity of the child kind of frequency, and boom, you're there. And that's what we're all here to do, is to anchor that in. So without further ado, now we're going to get into the codes of the Aqua ray. So codes from the road, Mount Shasta, July 12th to 16th of 2023. So we'll start with the Aqua ray itself, and you can see through these incredible crystal pieces here, this amazing frequency. And I've always heard that the Christed frequencies can be a soft blue like this, and really didn't have a visceral connection myself. It was always just reading about it through others' connection. So this was the opportunity to really experience this. And the first concept that came through was that of the crystal city, the crystalline cities, the templates for New Earth and the higher harmonic of New Earth consciousness, the crystalline consciousness that is here now at this time of shift, where we have the template through each of us, really. And this is coming from the illusions as well of an enlightened society. So when you think of crystal cities, it's just beautiful imagery, consciousness, a harmonic that is holographic and holistic in its consideration for the natural world, for all people. Everyone is taken into consideration, right? All of the kingdoms, right? The animals, and there is much more of a connected relationship going on between ourselves and one another and the divine and the natural world. So that's the crystal city, concepts of the land of milk and honey. And then the aqua ray brings in this Christed frequency now with this soft blue. And so the presence of Mother Mary and this beautiful soft blue that is healing all distortion. Part of this is allowing ourselves to be bathed in this beautiful liquid light of this soft aqua color. And it's also kind of an aquamarine, and allowing ourselves to be reset in all of our conceptions. So we're really letting go. That's the opportunity right now, is let go of definitions of what a man is, let go of definitions of what a woman is, not in any of the kind of modern ideology that we're seeing, but as far as the wounding. We're talking more about the primordial wounding when we had a big separation from source and the patriarchal programming came in, which was essentially saying men aren't allowed to feel grief or emotions, right? They have to be tough. So we're talking about the toxic aspects, essentially forces men to not feel anything. And this causes a lot of health issues, right? Repression. It's really what we're talking about, is any repression of the human experience, whether you're a man or a woman. And so some of the kind of cliche, but they're true patterns that we see in societies, men aren't allowed to feel, right? Being emotional is more of a female thing or a woman thing. Very old concepts, very, very old fashioned concepts that really shut men down and can cause, heart problems and all kinds of things, or repression of their grief and their suffering and not being able to give a voice to their pain to then release it and move on. And then in reflection of this with women aren't allowed to be angry, right? Rage and these stronger emotions are then characterized as psychosis or hysteria or some of these other kind of misogynistic terms. So the aqua ray is here to uplift everyone and say, hey, we all had this programming in this incarnation, and now it's time to just really reset that throughout the generations, to clear ourselves internally to support the ancestral clearing going backwards and forwards throughout time. Why this is so critical at this time to start to really release the suppression is that the suppression is what causes illness. So for women, suppressing our anger and our rage, or judging anger for being something other than what it is, which is actually just information for us to then access even more deeply our own selves and our own creativity, actually, and our own boundaries. By suppressing this energy, we create autoimmune disorders. And for men to suppress their grief and their emotions, it's causing things like heart attacks. So it's really important to see the connections between suppressing these energies and how they begin to manifest, how they begin to take root and crystallize as physical dis-ease, disharmony, imbalance. And this is the basis of Ayurvedic medicine, is that all imbalance, all dis-ease starts in the etheric realms first, and we hold on to them and carry them around, and they manifest into diseases and disorders. So this is a powerful use of this aqua ray for your own healing journey as well. So there's this freedom from doubt with this for all of us. Freedom from doubt. So allowing yourself to no longer doubt who you are and why you're here and what your gifts are and your talents and who you are not, right? So we're talking about a lot of that social imprinting. Again, this outside force, which is not organic, which is not divine, trying to tell everyone who they are and how to be, right? So there's this freedom from doubt here, and the freedom to choose. So these are some of the biggest parts of the freedom codes here, is the freedom to choose how to feel each day, the freedom to choose how to perceive, how to receive, to be received, to see yourself, to be free, and so free that you no longer are attached to being seen by others. There's a lot of frequency differential. We've talked about that before, where others may not understand your path. This can go into nuclear family. You might be the black sheep of the family. No one understands what you're talking about, and you find your tribe, your like-minded tribe to connect with. But regardless of whether you find that tribe and that reflection in another or not, you know who you are. And that's the freedom from doubt. It's a huge liberation going on where you see yourself with so much clarity and love and appreciation, and have that authentic expression that it doesn't matter if others see you or not. And you will be seen too. Just to share the magic of that is, once you are detached from the approval or being seen that desire to be seen by others, once you have that within yourself, you will attract those who value you as much as you do. So it's more of that, internal kind of clearing with this ray. With that, free from others' imprinting. There is a massive dropping off, just these chunks falling away of where we held these ideas about who we were, and that can lend into some of that attachment or seeking approval from others, right? There's so much disempowerment that a lot of us experienced through our experiences growing up with imprinting from our family and society and maybe extended family or other people that we perceived, to have authority or power as we grew up. And it's almost like they live inside of us with these thought forms, with these ideas, these programs. And so now there's the opportunity to have more space within yourself as you see yourself clearly, this space within you that is purely yours. That is purely you with your soul, with the divine, and not the experiences or the traumas that you experience with others. So there's a separation happening where these massive chunks are falling off for you to have more of your own energy, your own access to your power, pure power, beauty, love, and joy. With this aqua ray, there is the opportunity to reprogram the open spaces within yourself, to reclaim yourself. And on the 28th, that transmission that I shared of that transition from June to July, which was really powerful, really emotional, I was guided to say, this is mine. I had my hands on my chest and my hands on my breast, my hands on my body. This is mine. And I said it over and over and over again, this is mine. And there was a reclamation of my physical vehicle from trauma and abuse and all the stories, that happened in what I now refer to as the previous life, the pre-ascension life, right? All the things we went through in order to learn through pain, right? So reclaiming yourself, reclaiming the dominion of yourself. You are a soul here in this incredible body. And yes, there's always room for improvement in our physical body. That's the whole point. We always have to adapt somehow, flex with what is, but it is your space. And so when we were hearing, my space, and cracking up, remembering the MySpace days. But this is a whole new application of that. So reclaiming your internal landscape that is purely yours. It is your world. It is your reality. It is your creation. It is your universe. And no one else gets to dictate over it, dominate over it, say anything. No one else has power or dominion over you. So there's massive freedom codes with this, just massive. And I look forward to hearing what you receive going more deeply into this. And so the invitation here is to see these beautiful colors, see the aqua ray, take some time for yourself and sit with this frequency of color and see it spiraling through you or washing over you, washing through you. See how the frequency wants to work with you, bringing it up into your body, into parts of your body, perhaps, where you've had illness or trauma or injuries or surgeries or different experiences or pain, physical pain, arthritis, any of these different things that happen with wear and tear, on the body. This is all normal for our vehicle to require some maintenance. And the aqua ray is here to provide a multi-dimensional form of healing for you on all levels. So this is the physical body, emotional, pain body, right? Mental, causal, the psychic bodies, anywhere where there was any pain or trauma or distortion lodged in that essentially was imprinted upon us by another person, and we took it on, right? As our own. With this now, using the aqua ray for this kind of restoration of yourself. The words that came were distillation, and this is a form of alchemy. So if you've ever been to the Rosicrucian Museum in San Jose, highly recommend it if you're ever in that area. They talk about the alchemy process, and of course they're looking at it literally through metals and the shifting with alchemical processes, lead to gold kind of stuff. Now we're taking it to the next level of more of a metaphysical or metaphorical level. This is the soul alchemy. As you reclaim yourself and are starting to become liberated from doubt about yourself, and you start to believe in yourself and love yourself and see yourself fully, purely, not through the eyes of any other being, but yourself and the divine, your soul, the language of your soul, which is pure love, power, and wisdom, that threefold flame. When that becomes your truth over anything else, and you start to shift your light quotient into having more love within yourself than fear, this distillation begins to happen. And it's a concentration of our essence, and this condensation of your soul's essence becoming more and more and more concentrated because there is less split energy. We're no longer part parceling our energy out to stories, other people, experiences, memories, etc., past life stuff. It's all here now. We are reclaiming our energy and ourselves. And so this is this distillation where you start to feel the potency of your power, of your light, of your abilities, and also your abilities as a co-creator to think something into form and to co-create with the universe and see something, to receive a vision or an idea, an inspiration, and then be in the receptive mode for how to bring that into the physical world, right? How to birth that through you and take action. And so this is all that purification of the divine feminine and the divine masculine within. Both aspects of self feel fully whatever is arising. And the Aqua ray supports us in disengaging from the judgment of what is arising. Like, oh, that anger is ugly. You know, I'm scared of that anger, or I'm scared of feeling this grief. It feels so big. So we're going to just drop all of that in capability programming. I'm going to read to you this excerpt. This is an introduction to the Emerald Tablet from the Alchemy exhibit at Rosicrucian Park. Distillation, working with Sophic mercury. The sixth step in the process of transformation is distillation, in which the products of the previous operations are purified and concentrated. Vapors from a boiling liquid rise into cooler sections of the still, where they begin to condense. Distillation continues the red phase of alchemy, in which essences are potentized and empowered. The more times a solution is distilled, the purer and more concentrated it becomes. Ray number 6, or the red, is marked with this cipher for both the moon and silver. The goal is to purify materials by heating them and condensing the vapors. On the personal level, it means repeated reflection and elevation of our thoughts and feelings. The operation of distillation shows a unicorn resting next to a rose bush. The unicorn symbolizes sublimation of physical desires, and the rose is the purest flower. Above the roundel, so they're talking about the visual here, and I'm going to link this, you can read this. So above this image is the word occultum, meaning hidden, since the essences at this stage are usually cloaked in vapors. So this is sharing that alchemical process as we continue to distill our beingness. That smallness, right? That we can't handle these superpowers, because our emotions are our superpowers. They are information. They lead when we indulge them and allow them to come up. We feel them and then we let them pass on. We receive a teaching from them. And this really distills our wisdom, our power, our abilities, our creativity and inspiration. And so we're no longer repressing. It's really powerful now. And the astrology is supporting this, to really be open to no longer suppressing and repressing anything. And part of this trip for me, which was so powerful, and this was why I was rerouted from Sedona to Mount Shasta, was to actually have a run-in that I was completely not prepared for with an ex that I haven't spoken to in years, and had a lovely conversation and received so much closure. And this is where these images of all of these massive chunks falling off of me came through, because the wounding that I experienced with this person was a lot of their own wounding that was activating my own wounding. But then I was taking it a step further in the empathy and taking on their self-hatred, taking on their death urge, their self-annihilation, the lack of seeing, all of these things. I'm like, oh my God, none of that's even mine. That's their stuff that they're working through. And yes, it activated my stuff that I'm working through and was working through, but you can see the shift and how much evolution has happened, where you're like, wow, none of that's mine. Oh my God. And I held that for 7 years. Wow. And then I was able to go back and see, wow, this is related to the father wound. Wow. And so this is where, whenever we were holding on and carrying, and a good example, just for bringing it into context, narcissistic abuse. If you grew up with narcissistic abuse, emotional, verbal, sexual, physical abuse, any kind of abuse or neglect, you start to take on the energies of the projection of those that did that to us, right? So then it's like it becomes yours. And it's not, it's just your teaching, it's your alchemy, it's your poison to turn into a medicine for yourself, to alchemize yourself into your self-realization. And so this, again, reprogramming the spaces within, reclaiming yourself, giving thanks for all of these teachers and all of the wisdom, and realizing that in this now, the frequencies that are here are showing us we no longer have to learn through suffering. So why carry it anymore? right? We're allowed to free ourselves of that. This is the massive part of the freedom codes. So part of this concentration of our essence, condensing our soul's essence, this is to create with. This increases our magnetism, our frequency raises. And the Tai Chi Gong is really supportive for this. So I have the link for that in the description box. And then the visual came through of our souls used to be in bottles, beautiful perfume bottle, or a genie bottle with a cork. The invitation now with the nodal shift and all this stuff happening in the astrology, and I'm going to do separate videos for that because there's just so much to discuss. This month is so massive. The visual here of the bottle and the soul, and you're going to open that bottle, you're going to pop the cork. You're going to liberate, and your soul is going to rise up and out of that bottle. And once you open the bottle, you can't get the genie back in there. So we're pulling the stopper out. We are releasing, we are stretching, and we're releasing some more, and we're taking up more space within ourselves. Our light quotient is expanding within ourselves so that we can embrace more of our own essence and really feel like, wow, I have arrived. This is my energy. This is how beautiful and pure and lovely my energy is without any of that shit. I learned so much from all of that. Thank you so much. I'm over it. It's done. I'm closing it down. No more karmic timelines with that. So it's just such a powerful ray to work with. And so this was all coming through while we were in Mount Shasta. And then some more came through with this. Part of these chunks falling away, a great way to work through this is surrendering, and also surrendering judgment. Judgment comes up a lot for us, whether we're judging our emotions or our memories or, how much energy we spent on something. Nothing is for nothing. Everything is learning. Everything is a catalyst for your growth and your expansion. So if we can start to come at everything as sacred and reverence, and starting to look at everything as this incredible interaction, a live time, virtual reality, quantum consciousness video game where you get to be the shaman and the wizard and the star being the whole time. And you have the human component too. So we're reclaiming all of it, right? So you want to surrender. You want to surrender judgment. There are massive themes of forgiveness here. Forgiving the trespasses, right? That we have done, that we have received, just letting it all fall away. Let that aqua ray wash through you. And since last year, I asked my universe, I was like, what is Christmas in July? Because last July, I kept hearing Christmas in July, Christ consciousness in July. And I was like, what is that about? And Mark Prophet even has a beautiful speech or sermon about this, but I was guided not to really listen to it last year. I wanted to, but the universe was like, no, just let yourself receive it yourself through yourself in your own way. Okay, so this year, I figured it out, if you will. I received it. I asked, all right, what is this with Christmas in July? And the Aqua Ray was sharing, well, it's about the major Christed frequencies that come through every year in July from Sirius, from the planet Sirius. So these are major activations of purity, from judgment, from separation, having more compassion. This really expands the Christed consciousness. And there are many, many stories of the Ascended Masters that share all the masters that came to earth came through Sirius. So Christ and Mary and the Magdalene and all of these different, ascended masters like Melchizedek and the Magi, that they all came through Sirius, which is like a white blue sun, a star, right? And so these are major activations that happen every year. And so this is what Christmas in July is about. This is the Christ consciousness returns to our planet in full force through the Sirian activation, the Sirian portal that begins every year in the beginning of July and continues to accelerate, taking us into the Lionsgate portal and into the Perseid meteor shower of the, mid-August. Sirius brings the Judgment Day energy, they said. This is where, things get convoluted, right? They get written down in these books, and then, different people with their different agendas, different factions, twist things. And so the Judgment Day energy is where these Christed frequencies from the planet Sirius are blasting us, inviting us to wake up and to see clearly, to surrender, to forgive. It's a beautiful renewal. And so they were saying this is that Judgment Day energy, because when you get blasted with these pure frequencies, some of the first things that start to happen is we judge ourselves for our unconsciousness, or we judge others for the unconsciousness. And the invitation is keep turning it inwards, keep looking at yourself and your own process and your own love to allow these things to disentangle, to unravel, to see clearly, and keep asking, show me, what is this? What am I supposed to see? What am I supposed to do or be with this, right? Very powerful. And we are wrapping up this cosmic year for the new galactic year to come. The new year to come is White Overtone Wizard. And so July 24th of 2023 is the last day of red self-existing moon year of that galactic year. And so this is bringing us into the major cycles of quantum time, higher dimensional time, 5D, 7D time frames, thanks to the cosmic Maya. And this is an amazing time to wrap up and look at, okay, this last year, this last galactic year. And the cosmic Maya were star family that had their root races. What it was, the Pleiades, Arcturus, and Sirius. So they're sharing these codes of cosmic love, brotherhood, and sisterhood with us at this time to get ready for the next cosmic year, next galactic year to come. And so July 25th is the day out of time. It's the perfect day. It is the day between the years that we are all gifted each year to be in the 0 point and to really look back. Wow, look at how far I've come. Look at all of this. And there's still a long way to go because we're here on this planet to have this experience, but inviting in more of those heaven on earth frequencies through ourselves. And this is all also the beautiful codes and gifts and the invitations of the Aqua ray for us, allowing yourself to see your own mastery, your own Christed aspects, and to invite the masters to walk with you, to support you, to guide. So more invitations for the etheric mystery school that is our life, with everyone coming into our experience being a teacher and a mirror in some way for deep revelation for us and expansion, catalysts for growth. I have a wonderful course on quantum time, learning how to use the Mayan Galactic calendar system, which I will put in the description box. Also, if you want to learn your Mayan Galactic signature, your birth chart, so you want to decode your birth chart for this system to learn how to work with it, to see your own dimensional galactic embodiment through your birth chart, you can do that through the True North ebook. That's a gift. It's free that I put together. I teach you how to look up and decode your star glyph birth chart. And if you want to go deeper with that, the course can help with that because it's all about how to discover your chart, how to work with it, and how to work with the calendar. And we go in depth on the last couple of years and the various cycles that are leading up to this, because we are in an acceleration from 2020 to 2029 in the Mayan Galactic calendar system. So all of this is connected. Just inviting you to enjoy the Aqua ray and all of the love that is here. Some of the other codes these are just words that were coming through that may support you in going deeper into a topic. So these are to kind of trigger memories, your own Akash, your own DNA. So we talked about the crystal city. So what is that for you? What does the land of milk and honey mean for you? And not in a biblical sense, but in a heaven on earth, abundant, new earth, unified reality for all of creation. Mercy. Are you being merciful to yourself and others? This goes with those codes of forgiveness, surrendering judgment, having just massive amounts of compassion for yourself and gratitude for yourself and others for the journey and how far you've come. We were present actually on the mountain. This was very profound for a mountain rescue with a helicopter. And I'm there with the Andaras on the mountain doing grid work, and the helicopter flew right over us. And I was just in awe. And one of the codes that came through with that is, again, the 7, right? The teachers, the leaders, this beautiful opportunity for us to open up even more deeply into a present and conscious life that is a mystery school. We're living it and wanting to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the archangel humans that are here, that are in the medical industry and the emergency services industry. So really looking at, yes, a lot of these systems, there's a lot of room for improvement, which is happening right now, but there's a lot of archangelic ground crew here and have been here all along in the medical field, in the emergency services field. And so just inviting you to extend gratitude to these people that are really a high frequency of service that are here to support others in distress, and just celebrating this Freedom Code era of July. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really excited about the other videos to come on the astrology and even more based on the different expansions that have come through. So this week there'll be a lot more content coming through so that it wouldn't be like an hours and hours long video. I was like, okay, let's separate this a little bit more. So I'm making up for last week. There's a lot of integration that had to happen receiving all of this, and just know that with this emotional work and release, there's a lot of physical upgrade symptoms or sensations that can happen. So I still have almost a head cold type experience going on, and sensitivity in my lungs as the grief has been released from my lungs. And all these amazing concepts from childhood just being taken out. The seams are getting undone. And so it can be very physical. When we do the emotional processing, usually a few days to a week later, it can be very intense. So you want to rest, allow your body to do its thing to work through this and to release, and just continue to trust the process. Trust what you are being asked. Trust that you are supported. Work with the Aqua ray. Wishing you all the most amazing day. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you soon.